going on, Jerome's? So we Minnesota Vikings fans have some thoughts about the Lions and Kirby Joseph, and yeah, I love me some Dan Campbell. Is he a little bit borderline because of his ties with the '09 Saints? Who knows? Who knows, man? But I have nothing but love and respect for general manager Brad Holmes. I think that he has quickly come in and showed some absolute. So Dan Campbell gets all this credit. It's like, oh, all he does is take chances in the games. He's got big balls. Now, Brad Holmes has the biggest balls of them all, and he's fantastic as GM for the Lions. And the team is racked up and stacked up, and they've done it pretty much organically in-house, and there are a bunch of lessons that Kwesi adofo-mensah and the Vikings should and could take from the Lions. And I mean, the Lions are doing this in year 3. The Vikings are headed into year 3 under Kwesi and Kevin O'Connell. So yeah, it's time to start making things happen. So here are 5 lessons that Kwesi should crib from Brad Holmes. Number 1, be bold. And Brad Holmes, man, so he gets hired to be the new GM of the Lions back in 2001, back in the day. And literally his first transaction is trading Matthew Stafford to his former team, the Rams. So trading Matthew Stafford. Stafford, I think, should be a Hall of Famer, notably because he won a Super Bowl with the Rams. But in return, you got a haul. You got multiple firsts. You got Jared Goff, who's looking really good with Ben Johnson. And I mean, so look what the Stafford trade turned into. So you got Jameson Williams as part of the trade up. You got Jahmyr Gibbs, you got Laporta, Project Martin, the nose tackle, Melifonwu coming out of Syracuse, Josh Paschal coming in as well. So, I mean, you got some pieces there. And Jared Goff has been fine at the wheel. But remember the heat that Brad Holmes got, especially from Lions fans. I mean, Stafford was freed, and then he won a Super Bowl in the first season. In the first season away from your franchise, Matthew Stafford won a Super Bowl with the Rams. Kind of crazy, man. Kind of crazy. But also, trading Hockenson in division, and then Hockenson finding some success early. Now, Hawkinson's knee was taken out by Kirby Joseph, but that's neither here nor there. But doing that deal in division with a guy that was good, but you couldn't make the money work long term, trading him to a division rival. And then also, of course, the trading in division with Kwesi, the famous 12 for 32. And yeah, the Vikings did come away with Lewis Cine and Booth and Ed Ingram in the trade, but but the whole thing about Brad Holmes is that he ain't scared. He is not afraid about pulling the trigger on some big time bold deals. And Kwesi's in a similar mold, just so some of the trades haven't quite worked out. Number 2, trust your board. So Brad Holmes, I mean, more needs to be made about Brad Holmes' first 3 drafts in Detroit, and picking up Penei Sewell and Aleem McNeil his first year, Melifonwu, Amon St. Brown in the 4th round, Derek Barnes, who had the game-sealing interception against the Bucs in the 4th as well, and then Hutch and Jameson Williams, and Paschal's been a rotational guy, Kirby Joseph. And Malcolm Rodriguez and James Houston were big-time contributors in 2022, not so much due to injury this year. And then Gibbs, Campbell, Laporta, and Branch. I mean, Brad Holmes was straight up cooked by the draft nerds and the draft community. It's like, how do you take 4 positions that don't have high positional value? Running back, off-ball linebacker, tight end, and safety. How do you take those 4 picks in the first 45? And then all 4 of them are studs. Absolute studs. Gibbs led the team in rushing, Laporta receiving. Brian Branch I love Brian Branch, man. Come on. And Campbell, a little bit of a slow start, but will be rounding into form. I mean, that's a grand slam right there, man. Also, Hendon Hooker could be the quarterback of the future. I think Project Martin, the pride of Western Kentucky, could add a little something at nose tackle. And these first 3 drafts are amazing. Absolute amazing. Now, the whole thing about is that trusting his board at F positional value, where when they took Penei Sewell, his first draft pick with the Lions, people were criticizing him because we already have Taylor Decker, so you're drafting Penei Sewell to play right tackle? Yes. F positional value, F this, F that. Can the guy play? And what's tied in with a lot of these high-end draft picks is they got hot. They absolutely have heart. And for Kwesi's first 2 drafts, so 2022 is infamous, as muy infamoso. So, Asamoah was part of the trade, not Ed Ingram. Doesn't matter. But You know, outside of Addison and outside of Ivan Pace Jr., who was a UDFA, I mean, the Vikings haven't really made solid contact with some of these draft picks. 2022, Booth has been in the rotation at corner. Ed Ingram started every game. He's been healthy. He does seem to be improving. Osmo's been hurt. Evans showed promise, and then he's been hurt. Asazi's gone. Ty Chandler, they don't give a chance, but he's starting to do something. Vidarian Lowe got traded. Jalen Naylor can't stay healthy. And Nick Muse, I mean, he's been a practice squad guy. And this year, Blackman shows promise. Addison's obviously a stud. Carry on my J-word son played some good special teams. Jaquelin Roy couldn't get the time of day and was hurt. Jaron Hall, TBD, and McBride was on the practice squad. So, I mean, these first two drafts have been less ideal, especially compared to this. My God. Now, part of it is scouting. Part of it is coaching and development once the players get here. But I don't know, man. I don't know. Lesson 3, build your trenches first. So Holmes did inherit along the offensive line Taylor Decker, Frank Ragnow, the pride of Chanhassen, Jonah Jackson as well. But taking Penei Sewell, also really hammering down on the defensive line. Taking Aleem McNeil, Onwuzurike, who's if he could stay healthy, I think that he could be a dude as well. And then Josh Paschal, Hutchinson, obviously, and then also Broderick Martin along the defensive line. So, I mean, that's what happens. And you see how good the Lions are in both of the trenches. And if you can win the line of scrimmage, you can win some big-time football games, especially late in the season. Next up, number 4, pass rush is a great equalizer. And, the Vikings' pass rush efficiency is near the bottom of the league, even with Danielle Hunter. So the fact that the Vikings can't consistently get their own pass rush up front, that's why Flores had to employ so many damn blitzes. It's tough. It's no bueno. So, I mean, the Vikings have to get back. It's a passer and get the passer league. And now the Vikings do have to secure the quarterback of the future, but they definitely need to supplement along the pass rush, especially that interior pass rush. And also, can we let guys like Jaquelin Roy get after it? Lastly, supplement and free agency. Now, the Lions are a team that you see it every single March, right? So teams throw big time free agency money and it doesn't really work out. Free agency is a tax on teams that can't draft well. And the Vikings, will be able to free up some cap space so they can make some big time moves, talk about Christian Wilkins, maybe L'Jarius Sneed, etc. But what the Lions have done is that they've supplemented in free agency. It's not blockbuster deals, but Romeo Okwara, Jalen Reeves-Maybin, bringing him back. And then this year, Cam Sutton, coming in from the Steelers, $11 million per year. He's been solid. Alex Anzalone, meat and potatoes off-ball linebacker dude. David Montgomery from the Bears, replacing Jamal Williams. Gardner Johnson coming in on a cheap deal. So that's the smart thing to do. Where, hey, draft all, and hey, you don't have to break the bank on a singular free agent, but pick up guys who fit your culture, fit your motif, fit your scheme, and then go from there. And also, I mean, Brad Holmes from the Patricia era, they let guys like Kenny Golladay walk for a record deal with the Giants. Trey Flowers, he let go. Mike Hughes, the marvelous Mike Hughes, is let go too. So, I mean, that's the thing about it too. Is like Brad Holmes. I mean, he's not scared. He is not scared to make a bold move. He's not scared to make a controversial move. Like we said, the first thing that Brad Holmes did when he got in the building was he traded the franchise's greatest quarterback, and that quarterback won a Super Bowl the very next season. So things have tended to work out. All right? And the Lions, they had a very poop 2021. They lost their first 1-6 to start 2022, and things didn't look good. But year 3, they really got things together. So that's where we stand right now. And the Vikings and Kwesi and Kevin O'Connell, you look at the Lions, you look at the Packers, you look at what the Bears could be with all of those draft picks and assets, and the Vikings got to get their rear in gear, man, because the defense, the defense too, but the division is rising up, and Kevin O'Connell and especially Kwesi, they got to get their ish together. And Kwesi has to nail the quarterback of the future question. He has to nail free agency, and he has to get after it in the draft. That's what it comes down to, man. But your thoughts are thoughts. 5 lessons that Kwesi can take away from Brad Holmes. Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skol, production value.